Chanoch LaNa'ar is a midah-based learning program.
It's an opportunity to come together once a month with a group of people, a consistent group throughout the year, which we call a VOD. And every month when the VOD comes together, we study texts about one midah,
which is a character trait, and you talk about your practice of it and how you want to develop further, and you talk about your experiences with your struggles and your victories.
You can take a month at a time to think about one trait like humility or patience,
Respect, organization.
and really focus on that rather than having to sort of try to do everything at once and be like the best everything that you can be. We study that midah and we think about the role that it plays in our life, and we think about where we stand in relation to that midah, and we think about how we might work to push ourselves just a little bit forward in our own relationship to that midah in our own life. And then during the month, we do our own personal work on that. I can be the best patient person one month, and I can be the most respectful person the next one. And then hopefully, after I've practiced this for a while, I can do a little bit of all those things and try to be the best of all those things over time. At some point during the month, you meet with a chavruta to talk about how your progress is going. Is anything difficult? Are things going well? And then at the end of the month, the VOD comes back together again to reflect together on how that practice has been of that midah and to study together a new midah for the coming month.
It's kind of a support group. You have either faculty and students or just students, and you really get to know someone on a deeper level, not just, oh, you're my teacher, but you're my teacher and you're also a person.
Sessions are not really serious. They're a lot of sharing and very interesting and very enjoyable.
I joined Chanoch LaNa'ar because my brother did it.
My sister had joined it, and she said really good things about it.
And he had a really transformative experience, and I thought, why not do that myself?
She was telling me, like, Ben, this program made me a better person. This program helped me understand, and I was like, well, I can't pass that up. It's kind of a diverse group of people.
Anybody among the students or faculty who are really interested in thinking about how they want to develop as a person.
It doesn't matter what religion you are. It's not only students, it's not only faculty, and it's not only one grade. Really, all that matters is that you want to be a better person.
I think anybody who thinks about what kind of person they want to become should join Chanoch LaNa'ar.
Chanoch LaNa'ar has definitely been one of the biggest pushers of me to be a more mature person at Gann.
It helps me understand what I need. It helps me understand where I have left to grow. And I would also say it's made me a better person. Being introspective is difficult, but it's something that's really helpful.
I definitely learned how to talk about myself and how to, my strengths and weaknesses. I learned that at Chanoch LaNa'ar.
A couple months ago when we had an organization type midah, I kind of learned how to organize my homework, and through that I was able to actually prepare and do my projects on time.
Chanoch LaNa'ar doesn't feel like school at all. It really more feels like a group of people, whoever they are, students, faculty, whatever it is, it doesn't really matter. And we all just sort of get closer and learn more about each other.
Most of the time, I try to do a student-faculty group because I find that way of interacting with students, sharing our ideas about how we're working on these soul traits, to be very enlightening. To hear a student's perspective on it and then to hear faculty members' perspective.
One of my favorite parts about Chanoch LaNa'ar is that there's this sense of everything that happens in Chanoch LaNa'ar stays there.
At first, it was difficult for me, but then you realize once teachers start sharing their stories and their opinions, you realize these are people too.
I remember last month, one of the teachers spoke about grading assignments and how that was stressful, and I really had never thought about it because I only thought about when am I going to get my assignment back.
They may be a couple years older than you, but they still have feelings. They still have certain struggles and strengths like you do, and it is really interesting because then when you go to this person's class, maybe you have them as a teacher.
You get to see life through a different lens and see the high school experience through a different lens.
It's easier to form relationships with them because you understand who they are as a person and not just a teacher.
If you don't know that much about Jewish stuff, it's a really good gateway into
Ethics, or an ethical approach to life through a Jewish lens.
a much wider scope of what you can do Jewishly than just prayer.
We can use it in any context of spirituality or any religion. I'm not Jewish, so I can relate it to what I know from Catholicism, or we can just sort of take a spiritual approach to leading a good life.
The texts are also in English.
Less about Jewish stuff and more about just looking into yourself and realizing what you need to work on.
I've done it for 6 years now, and I really, really enjoy it.
It's really a gift that the school gives to us.